Okay, next page. So explain whether the determinant of a matrix can be calculated. Okay, the only way that you can determine determinant is if it's a square matrix. So only if it is a square matrix. Okay, so you can take the determinant of 2 by 2s, you can take the determinant of 3 by 3s, 4 by 4s, 5 by 5s, whatever, but only square matrices. Okay, next one. I am like 99% sure you will see this problem on your test because they've asked it now 100 times. So determining the a, b, and c value for the standard form equation ax squared plus bx plus c that goes through the points -2, -6, 0, -2, and 2, 10. So if you're going to do this problem, you need to know, and this is just going to be memorization. You can't, there's no trick to remember. You just got to remember. So the matrix that you're going to set up okay. Again, you just got to know it. So that's how you're going to set up your matrix, and that's the operation that goes into it. So your first column is taking all your x values and squaring them. Your second column is just taking your x values as they are. Your third column is 1. You have to raise that to the -1 power. That's what killed you guys on the quiz, was not raising it to the -1. You knew the gist of it, but you forgot to do that part. And then you're multiplying that times y1, y2, y3, and that's going to give you ABC. So let's go ahead and let's plug it in. So x1 squared, -2 squared is going to give us 4. 0 squared is still going to be 0. 2 squared is also going to give us 4. Then we're going to plug in x1, x2, x3. So it's going to be -2, 0, and +2. And then 1, 1, 1. We're going to do the inverse of that. Multiplied by -6, -2, and 10. Now, to be honest, I don't know if they're going to give this to you on the calculator portion. If they do, great. That's all you really need to know how to do, and then you plug it into the calculator and you solve it. That's what I'm going to do right here, and then I'm going to add an extra video that shows you how to solve for the inverse of this by hand in case you need that. But it really just depends. It does. I don't know exactly if you're going to have to do it by hand or on the calculator. I'm hoping calculator because that's a nasty problem by hand, but you could do it by hand. So if you were to type this in the calculator, we're going to start by inputting our first matrix. So it's a 3 by 3. And it's 4, 0, 4, 2, 0, -2, 1, 1, 1. We need to raise that to the -1 power, and then we need to multiply it by our other one. So this is a 3 by 1, and we're typing in -6, -2, +10, hitting enter. And so it's telling us that our A value is 1, our B value is 4, and our C value is -2. So you would type that, or you would write that as just x squared plus 4x minus 2. Again, I'm going to attach a sheet that shows you, or I'm going to attach another video that shows you how to find the inverse of that by hand. But I'll show that to you in the next video. Last thing we're going to answer on this one is we're going to answer conceptual questions related to Gaussian elimination. there's a lot of things that you can think about conceptually. Conceptually, what you're doing is you are solving 3 by 3 or 2 by 2 systems using row operations. The point of your row operations, I can't spell, is that you're zeroing out variables as you go. So like when you create those zeros, you're zeroing out that X, or you're zeroing out that Y, or that Z, or whatever. And that's allowing you to just have one variable equal to your solution, and you can solve for that one variable. So that's kind of the idea about it. I think that would be kind of the extent of the problem that it would ask you. I don't know that it would ask you to go into like extremely deep details, but just understanding that you're using row operations, adding and subtracting rows, and multiplying by scalars, and swapping rows and things like that. Like, you're doing that all so that you can solve for variables one at a time is your goal. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to give you, I'm going to come back up here real quick. So this gave you 1, 4, -2, and then we use that to write this. Next video, I'm going to show you how to take the inverse of this by hand, so you can tune into that video if you want to see that. All right, see y'all later. Bye-bye.